What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Kind of Funny Reacts for Star Wars The Last Jedi. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the producer/seducer, Nick Scarpino.
Hello.
How are you? Over there, the pure one, at Tim Gettys.
Let Tim host.
Nice lightsaber shirt.
Thank you.
And then rounding out our group,
Not good, Greg. Not good.
Kevin Coelho, the glue, in his Star Wars jacket. And we got Candy Andy over on KevCam /
Hey, what's
Kev
up, guys? Hey, what's up? My name is Andy Cortez here, joining you live from Kind of Funny Studios.
If you've never watched a Kind of Funny Reacts to a movie, it's pretty simple. We are going to do a spoiler-free discussion of if we liked or did not like Star Wars Last Jedi. And then, come on, Andy, get on it. You're going to be KevCam.
I thought it was like a hold down.
We will go very clearly. We'll say we are now going into spoilers, and we will spoil the shit out of the movie. So you can watch the first half without seeing the film, watch the second half later when you did see the film, watch it all in one go, however you want to start. Tim, let's start over on your side. Did you like Star Wars The Last Jedi?
Going based on what I've been talking to people about, I feel like there's a lot of overreaction going on. It's not that bad.
Okay.
Having said that, there's some things I think that this movie does a great disservice to what the returning Star Wars has promised us over the last couple years.
Okay.
I think as a movie, this is a good movie. I think it's one of the better made Star Wars movies in terms of cinematography and in terms of storytelling from a traditional standpoint. But in terms of a Star Wars standpoint, I thought it was very weak and made a lot of easy choices instead of hard choices. And overall was very disappointing.
Kevin, do you like Star Wars Last Jedi?
Do I like? No, I did not like it at all.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You tweeted that you hated it, right?
Yeah. Well, I do. I have some thoughts.
You have notes. You have comprehensive notes
I
on
don't ever
this.
do this. I am a huge Star Wars fan.
Right.
I have been my entire life.
Yeah.
I've seen the Star Wars movies dozens upon dozens of times, and I love them. I love Star Wars lore. And oh man, was I disappointed?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna go through. You guys are big Star Wars fans. I'm always the outlier here, not a Star Wars fan. I didn't hate this movie, but I did find for me, it was the exact opposite of Force Awakens. Where Force Awakens, I remember watching it with you guys, and when we got back here today, I was like, what a delightful movie. That entire movie, I was like, I'm having fun. This is so much fun. This was what I think people hate and don't want for movies, where I was sitting there watching, I'm like, I wonder if Kevin's got the kegerator running. Are we gonna eat dinner tonight? But I was bored for major sections of it, and I just didn't overall enjoy it. But it wasn't terrible, I don't think. I didn't hate it or anything. Nick?
Yeah, for me it was disappointing, and it's disappointing because it had some really, really, really awesome moments that were just punctuated by the rest of the movie, unfortunately, which just didn't really do anything. Like nothing. Like, what was the point of this movie? Other than to serve one or two big things that we'll get into in spoiler-ific territory. But for the most part, I was just like, I don't really know. Like, this whole movie could have been, should have been a 15-minute scene at the beginning of The Last Jedi. You know what I mean? Like, there's no purpose to it. There's no point to it. Yeah, it was disappointing for me, yeah.
Andy, did you like Star Wars The Last Jedi?
I didn't hate it.
Thanks, Andy.
Okay.
No,
okay.
honestly, I would say that I loved Force Awakens so much more than this movie. This movie had incredible highs and really bad lows.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Take a deep sigh. Take a deep breath.
It's hard because judging the movie just as it is, but then comparing it to other things, it gets so difficult. I would say that at this point, I enjoyed this movie more than Force Awakens.
Wow.
But the thing is, Force Awakens, when it happened, was a moment. There was so much that went into it that wasn't just the movie. And it was just cues. And oh my God, we haven't seen this for so long. And oh, we've had such trash for so long. And this is actually good. It was different. There's so much more there. With this, I think that this did do something different that I liked. I
think the kudos to it for trying to do something different. It was a very, very distinctively different. Like, my biggest fear before I actually saw the movie and realized that now I have a bigger fear was that it was going to be Empire Strikes Back. Now I wish to God they would have just copied Empire Strikes Back beat for beat, because I didn't realize, none of this felt like a Star Wars film to me. None of it did. It broke with the reality of the world that it built in so many different ways that after a while I was like, okay, I guess that's the thing now. Okay, I guess we're doing that now. Okay, I didn't know they could do that. Cool. I guess that's what we're doing now. And everything that I think J.J. Abrams kind of fixed, this one just broke. Broke.
We'll get into it in spoiler. Whereas there's a specific scene that's going on, and I was like, I guess I should save it for spoilers. But it was all clearly CG, and I was like, why don't I like this? And it finally dawned on me, oh, this is all CG bullshit, like the prequels were. And I was like, oh, remember in Force Awakens how much, practical effects. Oh, J.J. Abrams, this isn't J.J. And it was just like that weird domino effect where things clicked into my head of like, oh, that's why I don't like it.
What you're talking about for that. But for me, I think something that is very, like the thing that hurts me the most about talking about this is I like Disney movies. I like the Marvel movies. I like what they've been doing with Star Wars. And I've been a big fighter for that stuff. I was just like, I was like, why would you question them? They're nailing it so far. They're kicking ass. And sure, they played it safe with A New Hope or with Force Awakens, but they're going to do something different and cool. And now with Disney buying Fox, it's like, I'm not worried. I'm totally cool. This is the first time that I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. This was,
and that's not good.
Hold on one second.
Yeah,
Kevin, I want to let you off the leash here. You not all into spoilers, but I mean, you've been you had a rash today because you wanted to talk about this so much.
I mean, I've had a rash for 2 days because like I've been so frustrated. You can say that it's
No, Jen broke out into a rash right before. It's a thing.
I mean, it's just to give this movie points for doing something different. I think is ludicrous. It didn't do it well. Like we have 4 people sitting here saying like I didn't like it. Or at least, I mean, did you like it?
I did like it. That's my thing. My problem is I liked the movie. I always talk about this when we talk about DC, when we talk about Marvel and stuff. We deserve better. To me, Star Wars is a thing. We deserve the best. And we did not get that with this.
And they've done so well with The Force Awakens, with Rogue One. Like
I agree with you. And
those
what's so
are
clear
good
to me,
movies that are building to something. And this...
That's the problem with this is I feel like with the MCUs, it's building. There's a plan. This movie made it clear to me there's no plan. No plan at all. And especially with Carrie Fisher dying, there's no plan.
Walking out of this movie, I was like, I have no idea in my mind where 9 is going. Well, I mean, I guess I have an idea, but like, I don't care. Like, I don't want to see that movie.
Because 9, and this is again just casual Star Wars guy who watches them with you, 9 is supposed to end this trilogy, right? And then Rian Johnson's getting his own trilogy.
Which is not, that's unrelated.
It's something else. Okay, my apologies. But 9 is supposed to end what's happened
the
here.
The Skywalker saga.
And that's my whole thing of like, what a waste of time this movie was. And that's what I think my biggest, when I'm talking about being bored in it, I was like, all right, well, they're going to get to this. They're going to answer, no, okay, okay.
See, I have a different problem than you. I think they answered too much and they were stupid answers.
Yep. 100%. They answered so much that I wanted to know, and I hated the answers.
Force Awakens asked questions. In all the scenes that it didn't give us enough, the things that we wanted more of, and this movie answered all of them.
Just poorly.
And that's
very
when,
poorly.
Are you ready for spoilers?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Well, so, Andy, should people see Star Wars: The Last Jedi?
Yeah, I guess, man. I just don't like. I think the sentiment with like I put out a tweet right now. I said, "Help us, J.J. Abrams, you're our only hope." And a lot of people are like, "Oh, JJ takes no risks." It's like, well, this movie, like, taking risks doesn't mean it's a good thing. Like, I'd rather have a cookie cutter movie that's good. Like when people complain about Marvel movies because they're so predictable and stuff. Yeah, but they're fucking good. Like, I'd rather have a really, really good movie. I didn't love Rogue One. I still love Rogue One more than this movie.
I love Rogue One.
I thought it was pretty good.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the thing I really liked about Rogue One and found myself like thinking about as we were driving in was that Rogue One set a very interesting and serious tone, which I was like, this feels like Star Wars, right? The last scene of Rogue One, you're like, whew, like Doctor, you know, the scene where you see Vader and Vader goes fucking just full on Vader, and you're like, it was the first time in a long time I actually got scared for a character. And I'm like, whoa.
It's the first time we saw full Vader.
Oh, that's what you see. Yeah, first time we saw full on Vader. And that was such a fucking awesome scene. And it was just like, oh man, you really feel for this rebellion that's like, that's trying so desperately to beat this insurmountable odd that's in front of it, right? Which is this empire. And like, it just leaves you with that gut wrenching like feeling, like you actually feel something for these. This one, I'm just like, I should have been, by the end of it, you should be like, you should feel something, and the only thing I felt was I do wonder if we're getting dinner after this. I'm wondering, and I started thinking about BJ's. I was like, is BJ's the answer to my hunger? And that's not what I wanted to be.
To bring up Rogue One in this conversation, still spoiler free. I think Force Awakens and Rogue One, for me as the guy who's like, oh, whatever. Like I came in and I was always like, fuck, those movies ended. And I was like, I loved these characters, blah, blah. I can't wait to, not for Rogue One, but I can't wait to get more of these characters, right? And that was then going to Last Jedi. I was like, here we go. And then it was like, I'm watching this movie and I'm with like Rey's a great example because I loved her in the first movie.
Yeah.
And this movie I was just like, what am I liking about you here?
I think that was the other thing with Rogue One that struck me was that those characters who were these die-hard rebels were conflicted and they were mean and they were willing to do whatever it took to actually beat this. Like they were willing to kill in order to get to win because they knew that what they were fighting for was right. In this one, we got a very full cast of Disney characters where everything was like happy-go-lucky and they were all caricatures and nobody was conflicted at all. And it was...
I don't think so. I think they did a good job having the characters kind of subvert expectations in some ways, especially some of the new characters. And I think that what they did within the good guys and bad guys and like the way, and this is what I'm talking about in terms of storytelling, it's more traditional storytelling for movies where there was a lot of mirroring between the good and the bad and seeing the different relationships between the characters. And I those are the moments I liked, and I felt like they built up to, like you talking about the Darth Vader moment in Rogue One. I feel like this movie had a lot of those moments. Like I would need to watch it again to really reflect on this, but in terms of star fights and in terms of like X-wing fights, besides the Death Star trench run, which obviously will never be beat, the opening scene of this movie is fucking rad.
That was
Incredible.
really cool.
It
really
is
cool.
until you start thinking about it. And then you go, why?
I believe
No,
about any of these though.
No, I mean, at least Rogue One, granted, you were like, okay, I got to buy that this thing is at the top of this tower. Okay, I get that. Okay, also I got to buy that they got to get this force field down. Okay, I get that. Like, I'll give you that. Those are a little bit of a stretch. But other than that, it's like, okay, we got to just fight a battle to try to get these things. That makes sense,
I
right?
mean, I think that like it only has small gunners on the top to take out these tiny little
Spoilers.
ships.
Spoilers.
Well, yeah, I don't want to go too far.
Well,
we
I
can
mean,
talk. We can talk about all the things that are. We should go into spoiler territory.
All right, fine.
Real quick, I'm sorry. Just Rogue One, at the end of it, I was like, holy shit, I really want to watch A New Hope.
Yeah.
And The Force Awakens, at the end of it, I was like, fuck, I want more. This at the end of it, I didn't want more.
Yeah, I could wait another year.
Well, that's the thing for me.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
it's
that's
like
what I'm saying. Just-
going into Force Awakens with you guys, your excitement feeds it, of course, but it was a new thing, and I was like, oh yeah, this is fun. And I was worried I wouldn't like Force Awakens, right? And I loved it. I came out, I was like, so I want more. I can't believe I want more Star Wars like that. Rogue One, I had such a great time. This one, like during it, I was like, maybe I should have just helped Kevin with the kegerator. Like, and it's like that's not I don't want to say that, but that's just how I felt. And again, I didn't hate it, but it was just like, I'm not connecting with this material.
I think that all of that, to me personally, is a little extreme because it's like, should we watch this movie? Yes, you should watch this movie. Like, it's not.
I mean, you have to
atrocious.
because it's canon. You know, if you like
exactly.
Star Wars, guess what? This is just now part
This
of
is the rest of
just
your
like
life.
the prequels. This is just
Just
part of
like
it now.
the prequels.
Just like the prequels.
Just like the prequels. All right, we're going into spoilers. We're allowed to spoil from here on out. You've had your
Spoiler mode.
I do the Geostorm podcast spoiler song.
Geostorm podcast spoiler mode.
All right, so go ahead and spoil whatever. Kevin, you got copious notes. What do you want to get into?
I mean, there's just so much that I think this movie did wrong. One of my biggest issues is that like there were just a lot of stupid decisions made. Like
Every
for characters
decision made was
or
stupid.
like
no, story, plot.
like
Every
when you're
single,
saying
every
like
single
oh,
thing
this-
that any of the main characters
Yep.
did was useless.
when
I
you
just wanted
say the
everyone to
movie
know
was
that.
good, that like blows my mind because it's like what part is like. All right, let's start. Like I'm just gonna pick one here. The with
Ken has bullet point notes. I
yeah.
want
All
Off the top of my head, sir, I'm going to go to.
PowerPoint
so the
presentation.
Vice Admiral Holdo,
Yeah.
which is Laura
Laura
Dern.
Dern's character.
She
Oh my God.
gets in an argument with Poe, and it's just he's like, "What are we doing?" And she's just like, "Go away."
Yeah, relax, bro.
Yeah.
Like, whoa. Pump the
No,
brakes, Poe
we have
Dameron. I know you just
18
lost half your
hours.
squadron, and Leia's dead because apparently she can survive
Deadish.
in space, which we'll get
We'll get
to
there.
in a little
We'll
bit.
get there.
But
We'll get there.
they try to explain away this massive fucking hole in this plot. Right, by the way, if she had just been like, oh, you're the commander of all these forces, yeah, of course I'm going to tell you what's going on. By the
Which
way,
makes
we
fucking
have
sense.
Stealth technology on our planes for some reason. Cool, I buy that. That's okay.
They're
That's
just too small to be detected by the.
no,
bigger-
they said
No,
cloaking.
they said they were-
we
yeah,
have
they did
cloaking
cloaking.
devices on these planes. They went full on fucking
did
Star
they?
Trek.
Because that when they come back, they're like, oh, we ran a secondary cloak or whatever the hell you were looking for.
FYI, Empire, run the fucking secondary cloak all the time.
Yeah.
What
Also-
else? What are all these people doing on this ship?
Also,
They
have
don't run the
people
fucking-
looking out the windows.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Hey, do I
You
see
don't have a
13
visual?
jets slowly going away?
My problem with Laura Dern's character was that when they were talking about, hey, somehow they're tracking our fucking thing.
I thought she was like the plant or like she it's was the Jurassic Park woman.
And then like
Clearly her.
She was just good at the end. Fucking shit, man.
So, which sucked because that part, that's what I'm saying. There was so many weird breaks in logic that made no sense, that were terrible. And then you get two really fucking beautiful, amazing moments. When she turns the ship around and light speeds through the other ship, I was like, that was the coolest fucking thing. I've always wondered. I'm like, I always wondered what happened.
Our theater,
that was an incredible
Our
scene.
theater gasped when one guy went. It was like, and then it was like silent. And the guy just goes, "Holy shit!"
That was
so
That was awesome.
sick, right?
That was awesome.
Fucking awesome.
Moment number 2 that I thought was amazing, right? You kind of know it's coming because you see his fingers go and Luke's,
God.
Yeah,
Luke's
totally.
lightsaber goes like this. And you're like,
God.
that's fucking. This is gonna be sick, and it's just boom. Not even punctuated.
Was that
And
cool?
it kills. Yes.
I thought it was cool.
Until you realize
It was cool.
who the
I
fuck was
fucking
Snoke and why was he
hated
in
it.
this?
Exactly.
And that's the biggest problem.
Real quick,
with
let me
all
just
of
go back
this.
to this point with the
Stick to Laura
the
Dern, buddy.
Laura
Stick to
Dern.
Laura Dern. You want a beer? Can I
Had
get
she
anything?
told him? No, we don't have
Yeah,
any.
had she literally
Had she
told
told him? Great. They wouldn't have tried to escape. They would have made it to the base and quietly walked away.
Right. They would have never got Benicio del Toro's character,
instead-
who was just happened to be in the prison cell.
Poe
That's very fortunate.
mutinies
Yeah.
and embarks on like this crazy endeavor to get
To give Finn something to do.
Finn something to do.
Yeah, not
and
only
our
Finn, but
new
the newly
favorite
introduced
character,
Rose. Yeah.
Who, God, I hated her.
Yeah.
Every line. Why did she cry so hard? Why did the actress cry so hard at the premiere? Now I know why.
That
no.
was one of the characters that bothered me. And Tim, not to sorry to cut you off, Kev, but not to
I just wanted to follow this because
Sure.
the whole thing is a disaster.
Oh yeah, no.
Because
Go
they
ahead,
talk
go
to
for it. Let's do it.
We'll go,
We'll take it down. We'll
Let
take
him
it
go.
down
He's
one
off
by one.
leash. He's doing his thing.
What was Maz Kanata's scene about?
to tell him there was only one person that could do this.
Justin Theroux.
And they get there and they find another person that can do this.
In their cell.
In their cell.
Who I was like, okay, he's clearly going to be an agent for the Empire. And he wasn't. Or for the Order. And he wasn't.
He was planted by Maz Kanata because he said, "Who are you?" Exactly the
That
same
was
way.
weird.
That was a weird
was
moment
fucking
where it was
weird.
like, oh, okay, maybe they're building something. But no, instead, they're flying back and they have this moment where they're like, oh, let's see what these guys are selling ships to. Like, is it the Empire? Oh, but also the Rebellion.
I liked that.
Yeah, it was cool, but guess what? They didn't do it. I didn't think that they built enough
My
around
thing is,
that.
what
that
feels
just seemed
weird-
like a disconnected moment.
I feel like I think that it totally. That's what I'm saying. That I think this is good movies. Everything fits with the same theme, and it all builds on something. It's just a lot of the shit was really thin and has a lot of plot holes. But I feel like that was just building the what is good, what is bad, which is Star Wars is known for.
I mean, it's just like,
and
I think
the point of this movie is showing that there no longer is either of those things. The Force is gone. The Force is within you. The Force, blah blah blah, and that's what it is. These guys selling
But
the.
it's not, though, because at the end,
He was
we
like,
get
"There's
light
one more
and dark
Jedi."
Yeah, and that's the
again.
thing. At the end,
And I
we
get it.
get
The
a
thing was
bad and a
the thing was a
good.
very not so
Yeah.
subtle commentary on what's happening in American politics
Yeah.
right now, and beware the military complex, right?
But I feel like they
get
were
that.
added in.
Boom. I do feel like
Yeah.
at some point they're
Like,
like,
the stories
we
weren't
should really
written with
slam
that
it to
in
Trump
mind.
real quick by throwing all these really fat cat warlords in that only care about, like, there's a whole planet full of people and they're all just assholes. So cool, let's all kill them all. Like, that's the point you brought up, right?
Well, I wasn't at all making it.
Yeah,
any kind of
I don't
connection.
like
I was
little bar.
that
I
was
think
the
that's a little
one
bar.
when we landed on that planet, and I was like, "This looks like shit." Oh, it's all CG.
Yeah.
They're all
Oh,
little
that's what you're
fucking
talking about, the
turtle
casino
people
shit.
talking
Yeah.
and getting coins and shit. And then we walk over to this guy, and he pays no attention, but the girl did. And I was like, "Oh, maybe the girl's the master hacker or whatever the fuck." And then Benicio, is it Benicio?
Yeah,
Benicio
Benicio
del Toro,
Toro,
yeah.
yeah.
I'm like, oh, the collector from Marvel. He's
Yeah.
the guy. No, well, okay, all right, whatever.
weird.
But like when they started smashing through everything, I was like, why don't I like this? Oh, it's not practical effects mattered to me. And then the other thing I have a problem with in terms of this is like, that sucks. That's crazy. And then they use Puppet Yoda when Puppet Yoda comes back, and I was like, that could have been cool if you had doubled down like JJ did on practical everything. That's why this is. But instead, it's like I got all these fucking weird ass ice creature.
Puppet Yoga,
Remember
who
how
can make
fucking
contact
terrible the
with
points
Luke,
looked?
even though he's a Force ghost. Hey, knocks him on the head. Like, what? Why did he just come back and
brings
trade him?
down a fucking lightning bolt from the sky.
Yeah, this is
To
my
destroy
power.
a tree from the comic books.
Is that where that comes from?
Yeah.
Not to mention
The books and all that
to
stuff?
your point,
A very
Andy.
important treat.
What was that Maz Kanata thing about? It's going to be an animated cartoon crossover or a fucking comic book at some point. That's what that is.
Yeah.
What were Maz Kanata's adventures? There you go. They're gonna have it, and she's gonna have that conversation.
That's
And,
unfortunate.
and then you're gonna be like, oh, that's from the movie.
Yeah, there were so many things in this that just didn't. That's my biggest problem. This to me is, to put it in terms of like Harry Potter. This is the 6th book. All this served to do was kill off the father figure character, which
And
is
Phasma.
That's it.
Oh my fucking god!
All right.
I had forgotten about that. Where like I'd forgotten about it in the watching the
who's not in
fucking
the-
movie.
for 2/3
Watching
of
the
it.
fucking movie. Bring me a beer when you come back. There's still a Bud Light in there. Watching the fucking movie. I forgot about her. And then it was like when I'm like, oh wait, is he supposed to fight? Maybe that's the cutting room floor. And then she shows up and I'm like, well, clearly they're not going to have her go out like a bitch again. They're not going to have her be fucking cool. Like, nope, she's still fucking badass person. The fucking ship is blowing up. It's been hyperdrive to hell. Everyone is dead except, of course, Rose and Finn. And then I'm like, oh, well, I guess we don't care. Oh, no, here comes Phasma and all her people from the opposite side of the Star Destroyer they were on. I'm like, what the fuck
weren't
is
they just
going
standing
on?
right
Here
in
comes,
front of them,
here comes
and then-
BB-8 in a walker.
So
I feel like there was some deleted scenes with Benicio del Toro. Like, I feel like there was some shit
there was
where
some
I was
reason
like,
there was more. It's just
because I'm
crazy.
like, they showed him when he was like, oh, there's always, I forgot what the fuck he said, but he's like, you gotta just go from different side to side and, trust the stars, whatever the fuck last thing he said was.
Trust the stars.
Second star to the right.
They're gonna cut your faces off with these fucking.
There's
electrical
always
wires.
another morning,
Trust
whatever the
stars.
fuck he said. And then he kind of motioned to the box of the droids and stuff. I'm like, oh, BB-8's
I thought it was a bomb or
BB-8's
something.
in the fucking droid, and he's gonna fix the stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I
No.
wonder if there's gonna be some weird deleted scene where that's what
doesn't
happened,
die.
and he gets BB-8 into the walker thing.
no,
Yeah.
BB-8 can do itself.
BB-8 apparently can climb up everything. It doesn't matter.
He can shoot
Doesn't make
coins
sense.
at people.
Now,
Yeah.
The moment he got coins put into him, I'm like, oh god, they're gonna do it, and they did it.
God,
And then he
that's-
gave the thumbs up. Or
No,
the,
and then
the
he
fucking blew the gun.
smoked out the
And that was my problem too. It was like, man, I loved BB-8, 88. BB-88 so much in Force Awakens, and then this one it was just like you could see him like no, and he's like doing the plugs and then he shoves his head in the thing and you're like, all right, that's how they're using it.
it's
I loved
just-
Finn so much in the fucking
Yeah.
movies, and now Finn is
He's
just
so
like
likable.
sucks.
I don't think we talked about it on camera, but we all talked about it as we sat down. When they were like, "What's that noise around the track?" I was like, "Holy shit, they're about to be pod racing."
Yeah.
I wish it was pod racing.
Yeah,
The horses
that
were
would make
fucking
more
lame
sense.
as fuck.
I don't, because
the
I
thing
got-
is, people hate on the prequels for so many reasons that make a lot of sense. The pod racing scene, despite being a little too long, sure, I'll give it that. Pod racing is a cool thing to add to the universe. I just fucking stand by that. The prequels have
too, Tim.
few good things about them. Pod racing, the fucking music, which is some of the best music in the entire franchise.
Dual face.
I'm not even going to talk about fucking Watto.
God damn you! Come on!
And fucking
Dual face.
Darth
Ewan
Maul.
McGregor. That's it. And you know what? The potential of Darth Maul. I'm going to give it to Darth Maul. And guess what, Kevin? Guess what? Episode 8 just Darth Mauled all the bad guys that they
All
introduced in
the
Force
bad
Awakens.
guys.
Who the fuck is Snoke?
Who the fuck is Phasma?
What does
Is
it
she
fucking
going to do
matter?
something
He's
cool?
dead. Phasma, she was in the first movie for 5 minutes, and she was in this one for 5 minutes.
But now we know she has an eye.
Fucking toys.
Now we know she has an eye.
Had.
Human eye.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
she had
right.
an eye. Hey man, she
maybe
was in the
she's
garbage
still alive. I don't
compactor
know.
The
before. Maybe
garbage
she ain't dead
compactor,
here.
dude, she had 6 minutes to get out. They explained that in comic 2. Poorly.
We'll see how they explain this one away.
Snoke was just like so mysterious after.
Dude, I
Force
loved Snoke.
Awakens.
in
Yeah,
this movie.
Snoke was
I
fucking
loved
awesome.
him.
And then he's just
Until
gone.
He couldn't read fucking Kylo's mind
exactly.
correctly.
I-
Kylo got him.
I'm gonna close my eyes. I see that he's about to strike down. Do I hear something to my right? But it was awesome before then when she fucking goes for the lightsaber and he spins it around, hits her in the back of the
Yeah.
head, and takes it. He's like, no.
See, my thing with Snoke dying, I will say a risk that they took that I do think paid off is the fact that I didn't expect him to kill him in this movie, because it's like that is such a third movie thing to do. But that totally ruins everything, because he is such an interesting character. There could have been so many things that are interesting to lore. And instead, he was just another master that came
was a Count Dooku.
somehow in the 30 years.
He was a Count Dooku.
The
He was a
Emperor
General
died,
Grievous.
the Empire fell, and now they're just back, and none of that is
He
explained.
was a Darth Maul. Like it's so many of the things that happen that I'm upset about remind me of the prequels, specifically like the deaths of characters that we wanted to know more of
Yeah.
and that we were invested in, and then it's like, oh hey, they don't matter. Like
You know who else doesn't matter? Rey's parents.
I know who they really are. They were just fucking dirt people and they had alcohol.
And
Great reveal. Great reveal.
I think
in
there's
Force
more.
Awakens.
I think there's more to that. I don't
And that's
know.
the thing, great. Okay,
Yeah.
then in the next movie,
Yeah.
you know what? Actually, the people didn't like it. She's Obi-Wan's kid.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
yeah. That's what I feel might
That's-
happen. Like I feel like
Too
But
late.
like that's too fucking late. That like if they fix this, it's too
not
late.
gonna
They
fix
shouldn't
that.
have fucked it up.
They're not gonna fix that because they want it. And actually, at that point I was like, I actually like that. I actually like the fact that her parents aren't anyone. Who cares? It doesn't matter, right? The only, like it reminds me a little bit of like Anakin's Immaculate Conception, which I was
That's
like,
what they're going with.
I know, but but instead of doing that, they just went, it doesn't matter who your parents are. Like, you are just the chosen person to carry this forward, and it's the light in the dark, and I liked that. That was one of the aspects I was like, great.
Yeah.
Because who the fuck
That
else?
would've been a great
They
reveal
couldn't have
last
made it
movie.
Obi-Wan's kid unless what was she frozen in stasis for a while? Obi-Wan was like 90 years old.
Yeah,
This
what? A
part-
7-year-old man can't fuck?
He was shooting blanks, bro.
When
He
they were in the
shooting blanks.
elevator and they were talking about seeing the other people switch, that was like the first time we were like, oh. Like I leaned in, I'm like, ooh, I'm
Dude, my
very
thing
interested
is,
to see
and
that.
going back to the good movie, I think that all the scenes between Kylo and Rey were awesome.
Yeah,
I love the
agreed,
dynamics.
agreed.
Every time, anytime I thought I
was
knew it was
cool.
happening, it wasn't, and it satisfied me. The scene of them fighting together, fucking up there
Awesome.
with
Great.
some of the best
But then it
fighting
ends and
I've
it's
ever
just like,
seen.
oh, we're gonna do this again. Okay.
Do it
But
again.
you know what wasn't great?
Come with me to the bad side. Let's rule the galaxy. Like, nah.
I mean, I like that because it seems like such a surefire
it made
thing.
the
that
most.
he was,
But I mean, like,
Well, he wasn't even
his whole
saying
thing
come
was
to me
like,
to the
don't
dark
come to the dark
side.
side. Yeah, let's make something new
like,
together.
fuck it, yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
but he was
beautiful
still
baby.
okay. He didn't say dark side, but he's still like,
Let's kill everyone we
Let's
know.
fucking crush skulls and
Yeah.
own the universe.
Yeah,
I'm like, all
I
right,
mean,
that's
like-
still dark side, dude. It's still the Empire. You're
Come
not
to
really
the-
pitching something.
Come
new.
to the gray side.
Here's
Listen, man, just come to the side. You know, we're all the same coin.
It's just two sides of the same dark. Here's the really disappointing thing for me was that I thought Mark Hamill had moments that were really good, but then there were just moments that were so bad.
Yeah.
And there were moments that were so bad where I was like, I closed my eyes and for a second I was like, is he the trickster from the
No,
CW
they
show?
weren't that bad. I thought he was.
They
He gave a good performance. I didn't like necessarily what they were
I
doing with the
agreed.
character.
I thought
Yeah,
his
that's
performance
what I
was
think.
great.
This is-
I'm sorry, let me
I
back
thought
up.
what they did with the character
I-
was really interesting. The whole
didn't.
here are the two perspectives. That part
throwing
of
the
it.
lightsaber over his shoulder, like, hey, go home, kid.
No, yeah, okay, that
Not
part.
randomly like, how did this person fucking find you? You don't know. Like,
I'm
you
sorry,
left this. By the
that
way,
part-
you left the map for people to find you. Do we not remember that in the other movie when, for no reason, R2D2 came on and was like, "Here's where he is."
It was all broken to a bunch of people. It was definitely like, if
was like
you
hiding
need me,
it.
come.
Right.
Yeah, but like,
Hey, we fucking need
then
to,
he's
bro.
on the
We got
island.
one ship left. I can't go back to that. Nah.
well, I mean, I think to me that makes sense to me because he's been on the island thinking about it. And he's over it. He's like, fuck this shit.
No,
too
but
much
the-
shit's
my
happening.
thing
He's
is
like,
this,
I'm
Thank
done.
goodness on the island there's all these porgs and weird ass fish people
we talk
maintaining
about
the goddamn place.
We got
How
blue milk.
fucking
It
Stupid.
was green milk.
Green milk.
Yeah,
Oh, it looked blue.
But was it like it looked a little blue?
I thought
it was
originally
blue.
they were
Is-
going to go with him as being like a monk character, right? As a
Yeah.
person who didn't want to talk, who was just above it all, and like, but he was just this weird, surly bum living on this island that made
Like
no
Yoda.
sense. But that's what I thought it was
But
going to
he
be.
had,
Originally,
like,
I thought,
little
oh, maybe
servants.
he's trolling her the entire
True,
time, and like
true,
she's
true.
going to learn, and then he's going to like, boom, come on, let's go fucking take this over.
But that wasn't the case, and that's what
No.
Yoda happened. Like there was that moment where Yoda was like, "Oh hey, no, I'm actually a super wise guy that can teach you." But that like, eventually he gives in, but it wasn't in the same way.
No, this was just
Yeah.
it was very weird. And then all of a sudden, he just has this unbelievable power to project his likeness across.
he's still-
the
he's
fucking-
still-
Here's my
No,
thing.
like,
I
they
buy
added-
that. It's stupid. I
They
buy it
added
though.
so many things to like
Yeah,
now.
but okay,
like, what-
Jedi added fucking force lightning, and it's like, okay, you add powers. This dude's been on a
Sure,
fucking
fine.
thing, and the powers.
I
killed him,
believe
which is
that.
lame
Fine.
as
I
hell.
like. I
but, like,
like that
Princess
enough.
Leia on the other fucking hand.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
no,
Like
yeah.
when it's happening,
God.
when it started happening, when she gets blown up, I'm like, oh,
I
that's
thought-
how they're writing out Carrie
That's how
Fisher.
we're gonna get her out.
All right, cool.
It was
and
a
then,
beautiful moment. I almost
and then
started to
yeah,
cry. And
her
then she
hand starts moving, and I'm like, this is a weird one. Where are we going with
As
this?
soon as-
And then she starts like force willing herself back, and I'm like, this is like in Batman v Superman when Bruce Wayne levitated out of the well. Like,
And that
what is
was-
happening?
That was my problem. Is there was actually, and I don't mean to insult any other franchises that we've seen recently, but this gave me massive like Batman vs Superman and Justice League vibes, where I'm like, there's no reason for any of this to be happening. There was no reason for any of this to be happening. Like they're on this fucking shit. Like first off, the best that this unbelievably sinister organization can do is chase after this cruiser because it's a little faster
with their
than them.
biggest ship,
With their
All right.
gigantic
Fucking
Keep
ship.
Emperor
following him
guy.
and shooting him. We want to let him know
How
we're
do we
here.
get, I don't know, guys. We haven't. They outsmarted us by
They're-
just
We
Put it in the
both go
fucking
at the
pedal to
same
the metal.
speed, and there's no way for us to speed up just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little
Just
bit.
a skosh. Just a skosh. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. We have
Jettison shit.
crazy
Like a
thought,
space
guys.
works.
Crazy thought. 3 ships. One of you. Lightspeed over there. Come back. Cut him off.
Or fuck, one of you. Light speed through them.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
That works.
because that works. Also,
Tractor beam. Wasn't there a
God.
tractor beam in
Yeah,
fucking
it
the
stops
original
them.
Star Wars?
In
That
the,
was
yeah,
so
New
sad.
Hope, New Hope, yeah.
Yeah, that was my biggest problem with this. Is I was like, you could definitely see that there were just so many instances where the logic of the world just breaks down. There's no point to any of this happening. And the bombers. That was the other thing. Do you guys remember
Nick was livid about the bombers in the car.
because there used to be bombers, right? Remember the trench run originally had bombers.
The Y-wings?
Yeah, they're bombers,
Yeah.
which flew as fast as the X-wing. Why the fuck
mean,
are these
clearly
things, these
these were-
lumbering zeppelins
but
that fly in
these are
space?
clearly had
like-
significantly more bombs.
Yeah.
Like
Those were fucking-
They
they
had
just had
dozens
the-
of bombs.
Right.
I
but
thought that was a cool
that's
scene.
cool, but why? I don't. But that's me. I was like, this is cool, but it doesn't make much sense because it's space travel and they have ion engines and like they can't fly faster than zeppelins that are flying in space. Like that doesn't make any
It
sense.
didn't seem like a good war weapon.
No,
in
it's a
this
terrible fucking war
intergalactic
weapon.
fight.
But also,
But
I mean,
it's-
the resistance is at this point
Yeah.
even less than it was in
And
the
by the
beginning
way,
of
the
the movie.
whole thing
unbelievable how
service.
small they are.
The whole thing was supposed to service for Poe Dameron to have this moment where he's like, I need to take control and be a real leader instead of being cavalier. And hey, fucking everyone died, and they're smiling at the end on the bridge of the fucking of the Millennium Falcon. Like none of that came to fruition. He had zero character arc
And that's-
whatsoever.
and
What's
that-
that about? He totally had a character arc. He told Finn to back off, and he was like, "I'm not going to be the hero." That's his redemption.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
the end of
That's
it.
that's a little. That's like this. There it is. We
No,
nailed
it's
it,
not.
guys.
No, that Poe's thing was totally
a character
earned.
arc is when the main character for the entire movie goes, I want to escape this. I want to escape this. I want to escape this. You know what? I'm not escaping this anymore. I'm fighting now. And that's what Finn's character did in
Yeah.
the first one. This one was like
Finn-
And they tried to do it again this
the
time.
problem is the big
And then
problem with this
Rose
movie is they had way
saves-
too many characters. Way too many
Oh
characters.
my god! Oh my god! Stop! When she's like, and I'm paraphrasing, but first off, when she knocked him out, I would have been livid if I'm Finn. But you get over there and she's like, "No, it's because we can't fight with hate. We gotta fight for the things we love." I literally got in my chair and did this and tried to make eye contact with Nick, and I couldn't do it. I was just like, "Whoa, come on!" And Jen's like, "What
I
are you
thought they
doing?"
were
And I'm
gonna
like,
kill
"I
Finn.
can't deal
I
with
thought
that
they were
one."
going to kill Finn. I was like,
I
yes,
thought they were
that's
gonna too.
awesome.
Like, a
Like,
death
fuck
that
yeah, let's
mattered.
kill one of these characters
Yep.
that I don't care about, and let's keep Luke. I'll trade Finn and Rose for Luke. I'll trade
How-
Finn, Rose, Beast, I'll trade all
how-
those stupid horses on that fucking gambling planet that we're never going to go back to, which, by the way,
Hey,
is...
they saved them for
Hey man,
30 to 40 minutes.
At least
or I
it
don't know
was
how long
it was
takes to
worth it to trash this casino. Go free. Now it was worth it. What are we talking
yeah,
about?
okay,
'cause
okay.
when the sun comes up, we don't have tracker. Like, we're not going to be able to just fucking fly our spaceships over these horses and get them back.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, they're free now. They're free.
The now it was worth it scene was so terrible.
sure,
Like
her
I
character was
really,
supposed-
really hated that scene. Now this movie started off so fucking strong, man. Like the whole
Did you like the comedy in the front?
yeah, because
I'm here to talk
Comedy in
to.
the front was hilarious. I thought that
yeah,
was
because it
hilarious.
reminded me of
I hated
Poe
it.
with fucking Kylo in the beginning of Force Awakens, where
It
he's
was
like
zany, man.
hello, but I mean, where he's talking to Hux.
That's
You
his
mean?
character.
Where he's
I
talking to
liked
Hux?
it personally.
I thought it was fine.
I thought it was great.
It
I was like,
reminded
oh
me-
man, like that's Poe's character.
It reminded me
Yeah.
of Force
Yeah.
Awakens, and the scene where he's where he shoots down the final gunner and does the big turnaround. Like, man, I was like, holy fuck, this rules, dude.
Now
Yeah.
And then
this
from there,
Star
it
Wars.
just went so downhill, man. The casino scene was just really, really bad.
Waste
Why is
time.
Justin Theroux in this
Waste of
movie? I don't know.
Why
It
is
reminded me
Benicio
of the
del
Han
Toro in
Solo
this movie?
scene in
That too.
Force Awakens. The Han Solo where he's on the fucking ship and there's the big slug things.
Yeah,
those
yeah,
things
yeah.
that were
What the
coming
what the
around.
fuck?
What
That's
is
such
this?
a
Yeah.
forgettable piece of
Nobody
shit.
cares about this.
Yeah. So the thing with Luke in this movie that I did really like is the flashbacks.
Yes.
to the
That's
thing.
The
Yeah.
flashback
That's
story
what we like
told
doing.
from
You
two
mean
sides
when
was
it
Three
great.
sides.
When it was Clue, they were like, here's one way it could have played out.
No.
Here's another way it could have
I
played
love
out.
that.
Here's
It's-
how it really played
But
out.
it wasn't that. It wasn't like here's how it played out. It was here's how Kylo saw it.
Yeah,
Here's
it's how
how
it-
Luke
Luke
saw
saw
it.
it, yeah.
And then afterwards,
Yeah.
it's like here's what like Luke actually comes to understand happened.
You know what would be
Like,
really
you know-
cool is if we actually just saw that whole world that he created, if that were a part of this instead of just a random
Oh, it
5-second
will be when the
flashback.
Knights of Ren are finally a fucking thing besides just
Where the
a
fuck
one
were
I
they?
hated
shot.
that line
right?
drop where they were like,
Oh, there
"Yeah,
was
me
5
and
other
some
friends
yeah, me and
for the
and
sequel."
a small group. It's like, God damn it.
Which
But Luke, when he came out and did the fucking thing where he stood there, and I was like, why is his hair brown? His hair's been gray
Yeah,
this
I
whole
was
Yeah,
movie.
very
yeah.
confused.
This is fucking
Why
weird.
is he
Why is
using
he have his
Anakin's lightsaber?
And then he pulls out Anakin's lightsaber,
Yep.
and I looked at Gia, and I was like, and she didn't get.
And
she
Gia's
had
like, I have no
she
idea
was
what's
like,
happening.
what-
God,
and
I
I
wish
was
you
like,
were
I was
there
like,
when I
wait a
saw
minute.
it.
Bruce Wayne's parents get killed?
Because when he first walked out, like even before he turned it on, I'm like, that lightsaber is
Wrong.
destroyed.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
What the fuck is
Yep.
going on?
Yeah, that's
here?
one of the things too. I was like, there's something weird happening because he should have a green lightsaber.
Yeah.
That's his lightsaber.
Yeah,
That's
well,
not-
when
that's
he
weird.
talked to Leia and she's like, I'm glad you're here at the end, and he got up, I thought it
And
was
he
going to
gives her
be
the
that
fucking dice.
Yeah.
That stay to like the. I guess that's tangible
Force
for
dice?
whatever reason.
to show it to Kylo. I thought it was going to be that he was going to
Disappear.
when they showed C-3PO, I thought C-3PO was going to be like,
Who are you talking to?
who are you talking to, General
Yeah.
Leia? Like, I thought it was going to be like a.
That's what
like
it felt
how
like
was-
because she was like, "Oh man, like you've come." Like it just very much felt like, "Oh, he's like visiting her to like say goodbye."
Yeah.
I mean, really, to me, that totally read as a this is Carrie Fisher's goodbye moment, and they're using Han Solo as the surrogate to
Yep.
say goodbye to her.
Yeah.
Luke.
Luke.
No,
No,
Han
Han
Solo.
Solo
by giving him the dice.
By telling her,
okay.
like, hey, we're honoring him.
Yeah.
We'll never forget him.
When
like,
they-
you never really go away.
When her
Carrie.
hand and Luke's hand touch, I expected his hand to turn blue and like, hey, this is just like a projection sort of thing. Like when
what I
Kylo
thought-
stabbed him and it was blue.
I was like, I was confused by it, but I thought, okay, maybe he's just there and he cut his hair. Cool. I didn't catch the fact.
I
That it
thought,
was
yeah,
brown.
that was my
I thought he
first
just
thing,
cleaned
too.
up on the way in because like, 15 minutes.
he
might as
looked
well
like
cut
he
my
did
hair.
in the flashbacks.
Yeah, there was way less
that's-
gray, and I thought it was
that's
their
the
way of
giveaway.
saying like, he's refreshed now.
What
Like,
I thought was
his
going to
rest.
happen was I thought he was really going to be there, which I was like, that's weird that he just kind of fucking randomly appeared. Where the fuck did he come from? But it makes more sense. Obviously, there's a Force Ghost projection of whatever.
what's
Doesn't
the-
matter. But I thought he was going to be like, he was going to do the Obi-Wan thing. And when he
That
cut,
would
when
But
make
he-
I
a
was
lot of
glad
sense.
he didn't
That
do that.
has
I was
to-
glad he didn't do
He
that.
did that, though. He did that
Yeah,
without
he did
doing
that.
it.
That's the problem.
He literally
Yeah.
said the line. He said, Obi-Wan, you strike
Yeah,
me down,
I know,
I'll be
and I
strong.
was
Well,
like,
no,
that's
and then
so
he didn't
cool.
die, but then he dies 10 minutes later
and that's
by himself.
the weird.
So
why?
what's
Why
the
did he
point?
die?
What's the point of having Luke not go there if he's gonna still die?
Well,
at
now
the
here's
end?
the thing.
It just-
We don't know that he's dead.
No, well,
we don't
okay.
know what
Yeah, we
bullshit.
do.
No, but that's the thing.
When you
he's not
disappear,
dead.
you're one with the
he's
Force
part
and all
of
that
the
shit.
Force.
Then you can come back and chill like Yoda
Yeah,
whenever you
just
want.
like
So,
Yoda.
yeah, you can
But
fucking
like,
chill.
What
will
does
he-
dead mean if you can do
When he
whatever
went
you
up to the
want?
tree and couldn't set it on fire for a second, I thought Hayden Christensen was going to come out of it and like talk to him like, Luke, let's have a
love
heart to
that.
heart.
I'd have
You
been
see
fucking
how
down for
bad
that.
this movie
The
is?
prequels exist.
That's
You can't
right.
just pretend they don't. And this movie made reference to them. He called him Darth Sidious.
He did. He certainly
That's
did.
crazy.
I also what I was expecting, right? We got Finn going at the Death Star, mini Death Star laser, whatever, right? And he's about to go. What I thought was going to stop it is that I thought Luke was going to come in the X-wing. And
That's
'cause
what I thought, too.
I thought when she looked down and saw
When
the
they
X-wing,
saw it, it was like,
he,
yeah,
it was
alright,
going to be
cool.
he raises it up, gets in, fucking comes in, bails out at the last second, does some kind of fucking Yoda Episode 3 bullshit, lands, thing smashes in, lightsaber on, here we fucking go.
I just thought, I
he-
thought the hole was going to come through, and it was just going to be as simple as like, we're fucked. Like, and Leia's like, guess we gave it a great, like, oh, that last little bit. She's like, hey, we fought to the end, everyone. I'm just going to sit down.
And
real
that's
quick.
why I was
got
like-
nothing else to do. And I thought the fucking X-wing was just going to come land, and he was just going to get out. And I was like, that would have been fun. I was waiting for him to just be like, do something the entire time. That's so fucking
Well, when
cool.
he comes out
But nothing happened.
in front of all
He just randomly-
those
he's just
fucking
over there in the
things,
He
hallway.
did all he needed to do
and
to
they're
be
like,
fucking cool, which
shoot
is
him
walk
with
there.
everything.
Yeah.
And then it stops, and he just goes,
Yeah, boom.
It
That
was
awesome.
so cool, but like that moment's taken away.
Taken away.
It's like, all right,
See, but
good.
that's the
You
thing.
can't
All
shoot
those
a
moments
fucking-
to me were just they were cheap.
Fan
and they
service.
didn't- they were,
It's
they
video
were just
game fan service.
Yeah,
This
like
is shit
Luke
that
going
we've
like
seen
this.
in Force Unleashed and
Like,
all this stuff.
yeah,
this
JJ
isn't
wouldn't have
canon
given it
Star
up.
But
Wars.
like Force Unleashed had a good story that at the end left me
What up,
thinking,
Sam? What-
I want more. Give me more of this.
Well,
At the end of this, I was like, all right, cool. I have all the answers that I want. All right, guess what? In the next movie, Kylo and fucking Rey are gonna fight, and Kylo's gonna lose, and that's the end of the Skywalkers. That's all we have to look forward to. Why?
It's true. It's true because
This
she comes
sucks.
from nothing. Yeah, it is disappointing. Like, and I'll disagree a little bit that like, yeah, JJ gave us fan service, but he gave us very eloquently done fan service, right? He gave us what we needed. Obviously, we were all grieving still from the prequels, but the tone he set for it was still Star Wars. It still felt right. It still felt like there was a
Totally.
seriousness to this world, and this one felt like there were no rules whatsoever.
There
It
are,
was just
I would
no
say
rules
there
whatsoever.
are 30 minutes of this way too long movie that are
Yeah.
as genuinely Star Wars as any of the rest
The
of the
throne
movies.
scene with Snoke, I thought
Some of them are
was getting
so
there.
The throne
fucking
scene was
good.
so
When
cool.
the whole world was burning around him, I was like, "That's beautiful. That was beautiful." And then, we're gonna fight over your fucking. Where's Kylo's lightsaber? It doesn't fucking matter. I don't know.
I really wanted Kylo to come to the light side and have Snoke still be alive. I wanted like.
He would have killed him.
I don't know.
Snoke was so much more powerful than everyone in.
Yeah,
But
I
he
guess,
couldn't
I
feel
guess
the
that's
lightsaber
probably
move.
a big
Yeah, he
disappointment
couldn't
for me
feel it.
too. Is
You
that
could move this tin can next to me, and I'd be like, I think, is there something moving?
Yeah, do I hear a noise?
the big disappointment to me is that they sort of set up in the trailers. Obviously, they weren't right, but they set up in the trailers that this was going to be a little different. Like maybe they were going to team up, and I was like, I wonder if they have the
That'd be
balls to do that.
interesting, yeah.
I wonder if they have the balls to, because the one thing you always wondered is like, what would have happened if Darth Vader had come back to the light side earlier and had fought with the rebellion? Like, obviously they would have ostracized him, right? But he would have been this amazing weapon they could have had.
And that's my thing where we're talking about doing something different, right? And what this movie did. I don't feel like it did that much different. I still feel like we're in the same things. Whereas, yes, if it would have, when they were having that conversation going up, I was like, fuck, what if they do switch sides? And then when it was, he turned the lightsaber, I was like, oh my God, how crazy is it going to be when Kylo Ren walks into the fucking rebel base and sees Leia. Sees
That's
Poe,
not, like-
sees Finn. I'm like, that's an interesting dynamic I'd love to see you play
what are
around
they
with.
gonna
But that's the
that?
thing.
No.
What
would've
he's
been
done can't be like no one can. It's the same thing with
But that's
Han,
the thing.
Turning
and
bad
Han
would have
and
been
what's his
interesting,
face.
I think, but they totally messed that up pretty early.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
fucked it up. I don't know. I think they could have done something with Kylo. I think they could have done
There was
something
no-
where
there's no redeeming
where
that
Snoke's saying-
character. He's done
there's
too much bad.
Again, he's fated, right? Of course he dies. He's gonna die no matter what. But interesting to see what happens. Like similar to like Darth Vader redeems himself by just doing that one act, right? He's done all these terrible, terrible things, but this one act in the eyes of the audience redeems him, right? I thought they were gonna play around with that a little bit. No, but he's just this comic book. Fire everything that we
But
have.
we're not there
Fire
yet. This is the
everything.
second movie pretending to be the third movie. That's the weirdest thing to me that I just don't understand. Like so many
I was
choices
the other thing too. I
that
was
they
like,
made.
by the way, this could end right now. I'd be like, all right, cool.
But that's the thing. It
I don't need to see
can't,
the
like,
resolution of this.
It had Kylo died. We would have been like, all right, well, that's the end. That like I don't see another way of them. Like, there's nothing that can come from this except for okay, we're gonna get Kylo fighting Rey, and that's where it's gonna end. Rey's gonna win because there's no way they end a trilogy with the fucking dark side winning.
Yeah.
What were some truly cool moments in this movie?
The opening star fight.
The opening star
definitely.
fight.
The
Yeah.
fight with Rey and
Incredible.
Kylo.
My-
I think,
I
again, all
had
the dynamics
chills.
between those two.
Yeah,
Great.
I really, really enjoyed the chase scene through those red crystals in the caves with where
Chewie
Chewie.
the Falcon.
Yeah.
Dude, that was fucking awesome. I think
like-
that whole planet was brilliantly designed.
Me
I
too,
love
yeah.
the look of it.
Yeah.
I think
The
that
fact
having
that
the
anytime-
red come up
yep.
made a
So-
great thing and made the Luke scene even better because it looked like he
So much
fucking
better. Yeah,
exploded.
Yep.
Like, that shit was all
The
really
Luke
fucking
scene
cool.
was so good.
There was no
that
desert
fight-
scene in this movie. Thank God.
That fight, holy shit. Like him just stepping back and moving. Like you saw, like for that moment, it was like, holy shit, look at Luke. Like he's really become
I didn't like the Matrix
the
time,
highest.
but I loved every
I didn't-
other moment of
I
that.
didn't like the
like
Matrix
saying
thing
like,
either.
okay, he's got the Force to hold him up. Like I think that justifies it.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know?
know. I liked his little flippity flip away.
Yeah. There
Again,
was-
the hyperdrive moment through the
Oh,
giant
gosh.
ship,
God,
that was
that was
awesome.
beautiful.
A little. My thing
But
is,
it wasn't
But
so
it was
fucking
too
cool.
artsy for this movie.
Yeah.
Like that, I felt like
and it was
that
also
didn't fit
a
in.
little too close to the hammerhead technique from Rogue One.
I
where
mean,
it's
it
like-
was the exact same
except
technique.
with the adding thing
Yeah.
of hyperspace, which
Yeah,
is
yeah.
fucking cool. And like, I love
But
the
then, like,
effects they
it
did.
turning
and it
monochromatic
going
for that second.
dead silent.
Dead silent
Yeah.
was
Ooh,
so
that was
cool,
so tight.
but it didn't. I don't feel like that fit at all with the like.
It also
the
wasn't
overall
earned
theme.
because you had this character you were supposed to care about. Why?
Nope.
Because Leia had one line where she's like, "Hey, I know she totally pissed you off, and by the way, her one decision probably killed lots of people, but she doesn't want to take glory.
She
doesn't
wasn't
wanna
a
take any
coward.
credit.
She just didn't
She's
want
not trying to
credit.
take credit
You're the
for any
fucking
of this.
commander.
Laura Dern was Idris Elba in fucking Prometheus, where at the end, like, oh, we're gonna
those
do
movies
this
sucked,
cool
dude.
thing, and it's like the same thing happened where I was like, I don't care about these characters
No,
dying. Like,
who
I
fucking cares about any of these
do not
characters.
care.
I don't care about any of these fucking characters.
They had so much
there are
potential.
like 4 characters that I care about in this, and then the rest of the characters that are around. There's just way too many fucking characters. I cared about Finn at the start, Rey, fucking Kylo Ren, and Luke. That's pretty much it. Everyone else, fuck off. I don't
But
care.
like that's
Snoke was
that's
fantastic.
Ryan Johnson's fault. He directed and wrote this.
Yeah,
he
it's too
should have
much.
built better characters. He should have made us care.
It was just too complex. There was too many moving parts, and the problem is like they tried to do this the stereotypical Star Wars thing where they're like, hey, we're gonna put 2 planes of action happening at the same time, right? There's horses running, and also, but then we just kept coming back to it was like at the heart of it, it's a chase film, but it's a super slow chase film.
Yeah.
Man.
No,
You
really.
don't care about.
No, the
Super
entire
slow.
thing is a chase.
Their
Just a chase
batteries
film.
are almost out.
There was 3 plots. There was a chase at all times happening, and then there was
Luke.
Kylo with Snoke and Rey with
Luke.
Luke, and they're talking to each other. I thought Snoke being the reason they could talk to
That
each
was
other.
really fucking cool.
awesome. And
So
again,
cool.
Snoke's so cool. I think
cool.
at the end of the day, besides the Disneyfication and all that being such an issue, I think the worst thing is this movie is a victim of hype. It is a victim of us.
No, man.
But here's
it's
the thing.
not.
Here's the thing.
It's a
They
victim
fucked
of
it up.
having a bad story.
Because they fucked it up. All these theories, all the thoughts of who is Snoke. Snoke didn't need to be fucking Mace Windu. That's fucking dumb. But Snoke being Plagueis, that would have been awesome.
That would have been
Make
awesome.
Something makes
But
sense.
Snoke dying without having any backstory? Fuck you. That's them
It's
just being
insulting.
like, it doesn't matter. It's an insult to us, the fans. It
And
really
you're right.
is.
We don't know
like,
shit about Snoke.
like this, in my mind, puts these movies in line with the prequels.
No.
No,
See,
it
that's
does.
too far.
It isn't. It isn't. I think time
This
will
one,
tell on
like
this one.
I literally walked out of this and I was like, I kind of feel the same way I felt after
Yeah.
Revenge of the Sith, where I was like, oh, okay.
No. That is
There was just
Wow,
a bunch
man,
of-
there's so
I mean,
many
there was
things
cool
that-
shit in Revenge
Blasphemy.
of the Sith.
It's
but
not blasphemy at all.
Revenge of the Sith,
I think there
not
were.
that
I think
bad.
there were a lot
Yeah,
of.
Revenge
I
of the Sith,
agree
not
with
that
Tim.
bad.
This, markedly better than Revenge of the Sith. Nowhere close to
I
the
don't
best.
know. I don't know.
just-
Revenge of the Sith did the best they could with what they had.
I just think the highs in this movie were so much higher than
Guys,
anything in the
Give
prequels.
Revenge of the Sith a chance.
no, I'm just saying, like,
You guys
they're
want
like,
Revenge of the Sith?
what
Come
are
over
so
and clean your
fucking
house?
awful?
We're so
You
far
want to clean your
gone.
house?
Just Miho.
Mijo, let him make a
Revenge of the Sith
movie.
gets a
Okay.
lot of shit
Let him be a
because
Jedi,
they
Mijo.
fucking followed 1 and 2.
All right.
This movie followed fucking 7, and like it should have been.
They should
great.
have paid
It
J.J.
should have been
Abrams to
great,
do all
and it
3 of
wasn't.
them. They should have just been like, JJ, take it home, man, take it home. But this one just didn't work.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's Kind of Funny reacts to Star Wars: The Last Jedi. What did you think? Let us know in the comments below. Share the video with your friends. Talk to us on Twitter. Find Andy in real life and hug him. Until next time,
Float back home like fucking frozen Leia.
may the Force be with you.
I really needed to talk about this. Thank you for listening. It was hard.